Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Roliver Queen. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing good. And as always, I'm joined by my lovely, scrumptious, delicious, handsome as hell, and flavorful brothers in arms. Starting
Yo,
with
yo,
Quintin,
yo,
please reintroduce yourself to the people, dog.
yo. It's Q or Quintin or Q22 or Batman, whatever you know me by. I'm here again. Talk a little shit.
Where AJ, go ahead, brother.
Yeah, y'all know me. Y'all love me. It's AJ. Glad to be back. Let's talk about some comics tonight.
Fellas, we've been covering this Green Arrow stuff since the beginning of his run, and that led into Absolute Power and a bunch of other Dawn of DC stuff. So we've reached the end. The end came with obviously the end of Absolute Power. So me and Quentin covered Absolute Power, the end of that, but we didn't really touch too much on the Green Arrow aspect of it. So I was waiting for all of us to get together because I know we got some thoughts, I know we got some opinions, and that'll lead into how we feel about the start of Chris Condon's run. But all right, whoever wants to go first, how did y'all feel about the Green Arrow finale within Absolute Power?
Within Absolute Power, it was cool. We'll talk about the actual run itself later, but we knew obviously we knew he was playing both sides, and Mora for not more Wade, excuse me, for the amount of stuff he had to work in with it's essentially the whole universe. He did a satisfactory, maybe passable is a better word, job with the Ollie stuff. Ollie gets his moment with the arrow he had crafted. It's kind of not the greatest as far as the getting answers about the box from the Percy run of Green Arrow. That felt kind of too easy, but overall, Ollie, he was a big part in taking down Waller. He got the shine, and I'm saying shine with air quotes in this event. I think I'll say that it elevated him a little bit more in the DCU. A couple things we predicted were right. A couple things were wrong on. I'm glad to eat crow about him and Dinah probably facing a breakup. So
Woof,
that didn't happen. So that's
woof.
good. I felt maybe the forgiveness was a little too easy. We know Bruce is Kevin may keep a little bit of a grudge, but I mean, I think that's to be expected. But overall, I'll give it a B minus for his handling in the event. Absolute power.
I think the issue with the entire, 4 or 5 issues that the series was, is that it should have been 12 issues.
Mm.
I think 12 issues, or at least six, goddamn, at least 6 or 8. I think that would give him more airway to kind of slow roll the box, the arrow that he crafted a little more. Even though the clues were there, we saw him working on the work. We saw him with the hourglass. We saw certain things. Like he showed us. If I did anything, I'll have to commend Wade because whereas to it wasn't in depth, he did pull everything off. And I think it was something I said. All of Absolute Power was like a lead off to greater things. I think each one of these last events during Dawn of DC have been a springboard to whatever they're about to do now. I think they had to get everybody there. I'm not upset about how he handled it. Now I might be saying that because I didn't really read all of Percy's run per se, so I may not be connected to it. Maybe that's
Mm.
probably why I feel that way. Like I know what happened at the end because Bleeding Cool put it out. I think I read the issue after I dropped and came back on as things happened with that particular run, right? So, but for the most part, I think the mind thing was creative. I didn't see that being a thing. Like I didn't see Martian Manhunter playing. I mean, it makes sense that Martian Manhunter would be in on the deal because we never really got like the after everything happened with the death of Justice League, we never really got like a resolution for him, right? Like
Mm.
I don't remember shit about Martian Manhunter outside the stuff with Bloodwind and Doomsday. I don't remember nothing. I don't remember him popping up at all outside of the Lazarus event. The last time I think I remember seeing him. Now, do I think there should have been an issue where when he realized the time elapsed, he should have got with John. We should have saw that off panel. If I had to take away points, I'll take away points for that. But for the most part, juggling what he juggled, but in absolute, I think that's really all the room he had to do. Because the event went by really, really fast. If you think about it, like it read fast, things happened really fast. So I think it's just the ending be just as fast. If that makes sense.
Yeah. As for myself, if I'm judging it only on absolute power, it was serviceable. I do also have to take it to the fact that Wade only had 4 issues, so there was only so much he could do. I do feel like this is one of the cases where he also should have gotten at least maybe 5 or 6 issues to stretch it out. We had a conversation together, Quintin, about why there were possibly time constraints. So throwing that into the mix, I get it. But in a perfect world, yeah, I would have liked to see that play out a little bit better, because it was just straight shot. Because like I said before, that was my only main criticism with Absolute Power was that the main event itself, I don't think anybody reading it just the 4 issues, they would have gotten anything. Like you had to read the tie-ins to get the full substance of it. And again, I don't think I've ever read an event like that, at least of my time, where the tie-ins did most of the heavy lifting. So yeah, in regards to Absolute Power, it was serviceable, but I guess we can include the tie-ins here. I think Williamson did a good job of filling in the blanks there with what happened. Actually, no, we didn't really find out what exactly was in the box. We just found out that he used what was ever in the box to help him come up with the arrow, and then that's what got the heroes out of a jam. Found out everything with Martian Manhunter. So with that, it makes sense. But if I'm being fair and judging just off Absolute Power, it was serviceable. But with the tie-ins, yeah, I think Williamson and Wade did the job. Now, AJ made a comment about he felt that the forgiveness was a little bit too easy. I like the forgiveness. The reason why I like it is because it tells me one thing. First of all, it tells me that Williamson really did read damn near everything from Percy to whoever else Percy had replaced him after. So he read everything. If I'm being honest, I think this was the proper close to that entire era, from the start of Rebirth to now. Because we got to remember, from Rebirth up until whenever they kept doing like the soft little relaunches, there was no closure. Like, we ended that run on a cliffhanger, and then it's now we're finally getting some closure. So I think this was a good ending to everything that happened from 2016 to now. So if I'm putting everything in totality, so I think if the Justice League didn't forgive him, that wouldn't have been a good show of growth. But the way that he explained why he did what he did, and the way that he even said, "Yo, if y'all got any beef with me, I'm here to take it. Dish it out." I feel comfortable going into Condon's run because that happened. If he happened to get ostracized again, I don't know how good I would have felt. This was a good alley-oop for me.
To piggyback off that last part, not to cut you off or anything, but I think it's full circle all the way around the New 52 technically.
Really? Okay.
Because you think about how he got introduced in Justice League. Remember that arc? They didn't want him, or I forget exactly.
He didn't want them.
Yeah, it was something like that. And then on top of that, I think going into that era, right? Like, going into this new era, the Justice League were in a different space. Like you said, they were happier. Like, they wanted to forgive their friend. They wanted Ali to have a good reason for doing what he did. Total opposite of the Leviathan event. They just kicked it to the curb. As soon as they saw he was the bad guy, it was attack. Like, yeah, but Ali, they gave him a chance to explain himself. So I mean, and he had a good reason. And I think John being a part of it helped that too. They had a Founding Seven member part of that plan, regardless if they rolled it through Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. And I think that was something they had gotten away from in the previous Justice League run. It seemed like all of them had their own thing going. They weren't operating as necessarily a team. And I think now, that'll lead into our conversation about Justice League, of course. But
yeah, I mean, also to piggyback off of that, like, because here's the thing, like, I think this is one of the damning parts about Bendis's run. I think I mentioned it when we spoke last time. There were a lot of good moments there. I think at the time we ignored because I read it after. I think it was like a year ago. I was just bored. I was like, yo, let me see if there's any little Green Arrow nuggets I can find. And yo, after the Leviathan thing, they were pretty cool with Ollie. Like there's an issue before the death of the Justice League. Actually, there was an issue before they started doing all the filler, and then the death of the Justice League happened where it was like, yo, Ollie, we understand you had to do what you did with Leviathan. We respect you. It's all good. It's all love. Like they were fine with him. A lot of us didn't read that. So the expectation was that, oh, damn, they going to be mad at him again. They're going to ostracize him. But no, I'm going to give it to Bendis. Even Bendis handled his business there also. But I think in regards to just like the Green Arrow book itself, if you remove the Justice League part, yeah, it's going to look like I'm not messing with y'all. Because there was such a lull in between the last time he had a book. That book ended on a cliffhanger. The Justice League book wasn't so great, so we ignored a bunch of stuff. Leviathan, who knows who read Leviathan because it wasn't the greatest. And then now we have everything that happened here. So I think Bendis did his job. I think Williamson did his job, and I think Wade, for what he could do, he did his job as well. Kind of to backtrack a little bit too, if I'm judging Williamson's whole run, I think he gave us what we needed, and I think he left at the best time. I don't think there was anything more he could have done, if I'm being honest. I don't know if anybody has any rebuttal to that, but I think he served the purpose. And reading it front to back, I still have to read the last parts of everything together again, but I think Williamson did the job, y'all. What do y'all think?
I liked Williamson's run. The annual, I'm not the biggest fan of. I appreciate it, but I wish he could have tied up more stuff in present day. And then, and it's super nitpicky. He did the shit that so many creators do. You introduce a villain, hype them up, and then they're really just cannon fodder for like an issue, maybe two. With his instance, it was an issue. Troublemaker. I'm like, because I went back and I was reading that first volume of the trade, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? I had forgotten all about this person. I'm like, what does she do? What is her point for being here? And it's great. It's a foil for like 3 or 4 pages. It's fine or whatever. Like I said, it's super nitpicky. That's pretty much the only issue. He set out to reunite the family, the Green Arrow family, bring them back to the forefront, and put Ollie in a good place with his people. And he succeeded at that. Are there things that I would have wanted more of in the run? Sure, absolutely. Like you all were talking earlier, we damn sure didn't get enough Diggle during his time. The Merlin stuff, I would have liked maybe another issue of that, but all in all, Williamson, he gave me a good run. He did what he needed to do.
I'm for Josh's run. I enjoyed it. It satisfied my Green Arrow fix. For us not having a book for as long as we didn't have a book, I'm okay with this. I think Josh did exactly what he said he was going to do. Leanne's alive and kicking and happy. Roy's alive, happy, and kicking. Ollie's in a good place. Diana's in a good place. I mean, like, family-wise, I'm cool. We're finally in a good place for the Green Arrow legacy at this point. Annual-wise, I kind of like the annual. The annual was kind of cute, bro. Like, it was
Me too.
I kind of like, bro. Like, and then I just don't want, like AJ said, letting that character go to waste. Like, with that kind of you've already put in a rich lore, right? They got a rivalry almost. It's time to go ahead and continue, building off of that, like adding that person to the mythos of like the Merlins. Because like outside of Merlin, what, Clock King, maybe Brick. I mean, what's Ollie's Road Gallery? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't got that many. I mean, the Arrowverse did better at building up a road gallery than that. Now, granted, they stole shit ton of Batman, but I think about Prometheus. It's Prometheus, Merlin, and Brick. That's pretty much all I can really, on top of my head. Mm-hmm. And then Komodo, if you just if you read Jeff Lemire's run, Komodo, but we haven't seen Komodo since fucking when, right? So I actually like the annual, bro. Like, now, granted, like I said, maybe, hopefully, they have something else planned for the box, maybe a even bigger thing. Maybe that was Wade's way of tucking what's actually in the box for a later story, which is smart in a way.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't satisfy us because we wanted that to be a significant thing to, help Ollie beat the Justice League. But what if it's not just one item per person? It could be a lot. It could be multiple things in those briefcases,
Yeah.
right? So like, I'm not mad. I mean, like I said, I didn't leave reading that book like, damn, I didn't really feel like I needed more. It's cool for what it was, right?
Yeah.
Like even the art style, it's cool. It's not necessarily the art style I would want for a Green Arrow book. Last couple issues, personally, but like they didn't. The art was good. It didn't take away for anything. It was just, it was okay. It was Josh. It's a typical Josh Williamson run that I read recently. Same way Robin ended, same way Batman ended. I mean, like it was satisfying. Like I think last time we talked, you didn't like the Shadow War, but I enjoyed Shadow War. I enjoyed it. As I'm saying, like as somebody who had read the entire Robin run, the entire Josh Williamson run, like I enjoyed it. All right, so like I didn't have an issue with that in particular. But yeah, so I mean, I'm cool. I guess I'll sum them as that. I'm perfectly fine with the way Josh ended it. Could I wanted more things? Sure. I'm gonna cut him some writer chops because I understand how that is sometimes having to squeeze. You got to close your run out, right? So you got to choose what's the part that you want to last. He could have spent a lot of real estate doing other things to satisfy every single fan, but realistically, that was never going to happen.
Yeah.
So, like, I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't mind that run anyway. A dig with him having a beer, saying they about to go do something, right?
Yeah.
And that be the kickoff for the new run. But that's just me. Like we can play Monday Night Quarterback all day, but we got to take it for what it is. I mean, going off our previous conversation, that's how we felt about the run in particular.